I genuinely don't think that tariffs are going to affect people the way the news and media describe it to be. I'm going to go over how people themselves will be adapting, how companies will be adapting to the tariffs, what things will look like after everything balances out, and their overall small differences that we'll be facing. But let's get one thing clear. The media likes to fearmonger in order to get clicks, views, whatever they have to do to make money. And the same thing goes for other social media accounts. They're going to be talking about the president because of how controversial he is, and it's going to drive views and money. But I feel like, of course, the biggest reason tariffs won't be affecting people's wallets is because people will adapt. Whether it be cooking at home, buying less stuff, or maybe alternatives, DIYing, or anything like that. Cooking less stuff and DIYing are pretty self-explanatory. But one thing that hit the news recently was iPhones becoming more expensive if these tariffs end up going through for China. If that happens, then I guess blue messages won't be the standard and we'll be switching over to the green messages for Android. But I truly don't think Apple would ever let that happen because companies are going to adapt. If sales are low because prices went too high, companies will find a way to make sure you're buying their product, whether it be finding new suppliers and manufacturers, relocating manufacturing, or negotiating deals. If prices are too high and consumers aren't buying, then companies are definitely going to find a way to bring the price down no matter what it will be. Before people and companies have to adapt, the tariffs actually have to go through. Donald Trump has claimed multiple tariffs on Mexico, Canada, Colombia, and even Denmark. But as of where it stands today, the only tariffs that have actually not been delayed or canceled are the tariffs in China. And I wouldn't be surprised if some negotiation happens over the phones with Xi Jinping. Hey Google, what's the Chinese president's name? I wouldn't be surprised if some sort of negotiation happens between President Trump and Xi Jinping and the tariffs get dropped next week, if they haven't already by the time I upload this video. But let me just go over a few claims that have been made earlier in this year and talk about what actually has happened. In January, Trump threatened tariffs for Denmark and Colombia. In February, there were going to be tariffs for China, Canada, and Mexico, but then they got dropped for Canada and Mexico. And then in March, the same thing happened again with Canada and Mexico for them to just be dropped once again. And right now we're in mid-April and the only tariffs we have going on are the ones for China. Now, putting on my tinfoil hat here, some people theorize he's only trying to crash the market so that way the Federal Reserve will lower interest rates, which will make it easier for him to pay off the US's debt. Some people even think he's just trying to crash the market to allow his rich friends to buy in. But even with these tariffs coming into effect, long-term things will balance out. Tariffs only raise prices initially, and after that, only natural things will raise prices like the 2% inflation we're supposed to be having every year on average. And I say supposed to. As of right now, we could pretty much say we don't have any more high inflation. And the only thing we're going up against is a cost of living crisis. Overall, the inflation we experienced the past few years will have a bigger effect than the tariffs we could be experiencing in 2025 and onward. In regards to food, cooking at home would be the best option. Prices for services could go up, so DIYing and YouTube tutorials could come in handy for here. And prices for materials, like repairing your home or parts for your car, could also go up. The best option there would be saving money by doing the labor yourself. And of course, there's Trump's argument for the reason of all these tariffs, and that's to bring back manufacturing jobs to the US. But I'm not going to get into that. Tariffs honestly won't be having a major effect on the average person as much as high inflation has done, and we're already dealing with that now. What I recommend is keeping your costs as low as possible and making more money. The simplest way you could do that is to just get a new job. And if you've been working at your current job for a few months, you should be able to get something that pays more. And as always, let's make America wealthy again.